100%
recycled cobalt in the
That
battery.
sounds like genuine progress to end conflict mining in Congo. Until you read the one line that actually matters, it's sitting there in the fine print waiting for you to miss it.
My new iPhone 15, like, can you guarantee that the cobalt that's in that phone has not been mined, like using child labor in the DRC?
Yes, we can.
I'm sorry to say that Apple is not using 100% recycled cobalt in their batteries. They still rely on the same newly mined cobalt, the same extraction methods, the same human suffering across all of their devices. Don't get me wrong, Apple actually admit this themselves, but it's at the very last line of their 100% recycled cobalt announcement.
Apple already uses 100% recycled cobalt and 95% recycled lithium in the batteries across the iPhone 17 lineup. So the elements inside the battery you send back to Apple might just end up being inside your next iPhone, which is pretty cool to think about. I'm glad Apple is leading the charge on reducing the environmental impact of their devices.
Apple's transparency depends on you not noticing that one detail. So, this is how Apple doesn't use 100% recycled cobalt, by exploiting the loophole of mass balance. Every battery doesn't physically have to contain 100% recycled cobalt.
We actually just set the goal, just made the commitment to source 100% of the cobalt in Apple designed batteries as recycled content by 2025. So it's something that we're looking at really closely.
Mass balance, seen in Apple's fine print, works like this. Recycled cobalt and newly mined cobalt both get sent to the same supply chain. They are then mixed together. They cannot be physically separated. Apple then tracks the mass of recycled cobalt that they bought before it got mixed. And because of this, newly mined cobalt gets in there. They are not tracking whether conflict-sourced cobalt enters their supply. Once all of that cobalt is pooled together, recycled materials and conflict minerals all become the same. This system of mass balance lets Apple claim recycled cobalt even when it's mixed into the same stream of newly mined cobalt that isn't conflict-free.
Apple announced this year, actually on Earth Day, that by next year, all of the batteries that Apple uses, actually started 2025, I got my years mixed up. By 2025, all of the cobalt in all of the batteries we design and spec will be recycled cobalt. Why? Because a large part of our strategy here is that it is very difficult. We have been leading for years on trying to ensure that we know where the supply of many minerals, including cobalt, come from. But one of the other things we can do is to make much better use of the material that's already out here in the world.
And this is why Apple's claim of 100% recycled cobalt in their batteries is cruelly misleading for anyone who hopes that this shift will contribute to ending suffering that's linked to conflict minerals. Ethical consumption is sovereignty. Awareness builds your life more consciously, and that is freedom to really live positively, attuned, in harmony, and conflict-free. Well, I spent some time making a free, strict, detailed, backed by data, ethical and sustainable brands directory with eco filters that give you that juicy feel-good feeling, that uninterrupted, limitless feeling of ethical alignment. Like, which ethical chocolate brand is owned by a woman? What is the recycled content of this phone, this laptop? I've even made interactive checklists and planners and detailed guides with me at the source, so you have a real reference. you can deepen your understanding with one of the books, The Hard Data Scraped from the Company, an advanced spreadsheet. All the sustainability data is there. Also, there's transparency about the ownership. Everything is on my website. Go check it out. Make sure you like this video, follow for more. My DMs are always open for tips. This was a tip. All right, back to the video. So we can see that the iPhone 15, 16 and 17 series have 100% recycled cobalt in their battery. But because Mass Balance treats recycled cobalt and newly mined materials as one shared supply, so the iPhone 15 might contain recycled cobalt. The iPhone 16 will be a little bit mixed, some recycled cobalt, some newly mined cobalt, and the iPhone 17 could be straight up newly mined cobalt, depending on the day's mix. Yet all three are still allowed to carry the 100% recycled cobalt label because the accounting adds up. And in Apple's own fine print, Apple's commitment is to use 100% recycled cobalt using mass balance allocation in all Apple designed batteries by 2025.
And today we're using 100% recycled cobalt in the...
Imagine Apple saying 100% recycled cobalt in their battery. That's when I knew that they don't care. Can I say it's sadistic? This is wicked when all they've done is acquire enough recycled cobalt by volume to equal 100% of the cobalt they use. When in reality, any individual battery across all of Apple's devices going forward could have mostly newly mined cobalt or a little bit of recycled cobalt. We don't know. It's all mixed. So that could mean that we're taking steps away from newly mined materials. If this is the last MacBook before Apple transitions to 100% recycled cobalt and other sustainable materials, then this is a strong step in the right direction. They made this commitment a couple of years ago, and they have actually stuck to their word with their newer products that have been released this year. Apple, if you're listening, you have a whole audience out here who are fully committed to a sustainable future, as are you. So let's see it. We want to see you innovate. We want to see you push even further and make every single one of your products fully sustainable. Mass balance is an accounting system. It's not a guarantee of what's physically in your device. Your device might contain 0 grams of recycled cobalt. Beyond being wicked, misleading, this is just disappointing because Apple have not made a genuine commitment to end their use of newly mined conflict minerals at all. Instead, they're heavily misleading consumers who could believe that their product physically contains recycled cobalt. And it does matter because nobody wants blood-soaked products.
Adults and children from the village rush up these hills to fill sacks with debris. They carry them down tiers of unstable ground and sift through them in the river below.
Hapana, bantu beko napanda me ukipande kule wanakupika masashi. Na hivi vintu vyote tuko nafanya beko netuia abyo. Ile makuta mina pataka journée niko na batoto ba mingi batoto 8. Niko na hii makuta 7000 francs congolais.
And I see a lot of children here. Many of these kids probably should be in school.
Na batoto imagine mu journée ya leo mina pata seulement 8000 francs. Batoto watafunda je? Makuta kufundisha batoto inashindikana, niko infirmier.
Families who can't afford to send their kids to school are forced to send them to the mines.
One of the worst feelings is climate anxiety. It's the feeling that all of these sustainability issues are out of your control. We know about what's happening in the cobalt mines. We don't want a part of it. Nobody wants to contribute to the environmental abuses, the human rights suffering that come with cobalt mining. Nobody wants it, and Apple knows that, and this is why they made that statement.
And for the first time, there is 100% recycled cobalt in the battery.
They know that people are going to buy Apple devices because they've got 100% recycled cobalt, believing that choosing Apple, they're making a significant shift in the mining industry towards something safer and more humane, only for the truth to be that the cobalt inside your battery is just a random blend of recycled and newly mined cobalt, despite the 100% recycled cobalt claims. That is the 100% recycled cobalt loophole through mass balance. The suspicious bit about Apple's 100% recycled cobalt claims is that it hides the fact. What happened to Apple's trade-in and take-back programs? Because if Apple are purchasing mass balance credits for their cobalt, it means that where are those old batteries even going?
Okay guys, my first time recycling an iPhone here, so...
And that brings us to this. Apple's
Daisy has actually contributed.
It's impossible that this